Hey friends, it has been a minute since I filmed a video. I decided to take August off. I was starting a new position at my same school. It was off to kind of a crazy start. So I found myself just not in the mood to film, barely in the mood to read. And I wanted to give myself a break, but I am back. I'm filming 3 videos today. So I do have content coming up and we're gonna keep it going. So let's go ahead and get started with my September TBR. These videos are always my favorite. I love watching TBRs, so I thought it'd be a great way to pick back up where I left off. Okay, I do have like a giant TBR board with all these little prompts. I had already revealed the first 3 prompts, so we're gonna pick up from there. Okay, prompt number 1. The idea for this prompt was really to draw this after I've had a few books, because it says, you see a rainbow after the storm. Read a book with a cover color you don't have yet. I don't have any books, so I'm gonna choose a book that I know I'm gonna read regardless, and that is Spy Family Volume 2 by Tatsuya Endo. I picked this up because I'm reading it with a few people that I've read previous books with, and we all read Volume 1 last month. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. You really had to like suspend your disbelief in some parts, but Volume 2 we decided to also read together, and I just love the art. The little girl is adorable, and I'm excited to see how she does at school, because that's kind of the plot of Volume 2. So, first book, prompt number 2. A dragon's flame burns the countryside. Read a book with red, orange, or yellow covers. Okay, I found another one. My reading has been so all over the place and kind of just slower than usual. So I'm gonna go with a small one. This is A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. Becky Chambers is one of my all-time favorite authors, so definitely looking forward to getting to this. I enjoyed the first one. I don't think it was, like a top book per se for me, mainly because it has a slow, chill vibe, and that's not always what I'm looking for in a book, but I'm definitely excited to get on with book number 2. And the cover for this is stunning. Prompt number 3. It says, you are the bard at a wedding. Read a LGBTQIA book. I think I know what I'm gonna pick for this. We're gonna go with Winter's Orbit by Avrino Maxwell. We've had this book on our shelves for maybe a year. It's obviously one that BookTube loves, but for whatever reason, I just never picked it up. I don't think it was a top priority for me. I do tend to lean towards fantasy rather than sci-fi, so this just was never at the top of my list. But it does have a male-male romance, and I have already read this and can tell you that I burned through it, really loved it. And the romance in this is top-notch for sure. Okay, prompt number 4. I don't know how many prompts I'm going to draw. I usually just kind of draw until my stack looks like it's reasonable, doable, because I don't want to draw so many that I can't achieve my goal. So instead of having a set number, I'm just going to kind of go until it feels right. So here we go. Prompt number 4. This puzzle is out of your league. Read a book with something new. I'm going to pick up Sawbones. This is based on the podcast. Justin McElroy also is part of that D&D podcast and the Adventure Zone graphic novel sets that I've read. He has a podcast with his wife, who's a doctor, and she just kind of does medical history. So this is their book. I love their podcast. I always learn something. It's very informative. It's funny, and it's really well done. So I'm excited to read the book. I'm wondering how much crossover there will be between the topics they've covered on their podcast and what's in here. I'm hoping it's not a 1-to-1, but I haven't listened to a lot of the older episodes. So even if it is, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. Also, that's something new because I don't have any nonfiction on this list. So that's how it ties to the prompt. I just picked up a random book and didn't actually do the job. Okay. Last one, I think. I have a few short books on the list. I feel like I can do one more. The royal family invites you to a feast. Read a book with gold on the cover. This is kind of perfect because my friend is letting me borrow A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a Hades and Persephone. I've been into romance in general recently. I think this will be a really good read. I'm excited to get to it, especially since it's a borrowed book. I want to make sure it's on my list. We're going to stop there with prompts, but I do have 3 other books I'm going to try and get to. So the first one is a reread of Every Heart a Doorway. One of my book clubs is reading this, so I'm going to try and do a quick reread because it's been a long time since I've read it, and it's a short book, so it should be fine. I'm going to try and get to 2 audiobooks this month. The first one I've already started, and that's Caliban's War. I enjoyed the first one a lot, but it was too long for me. I think that was my biggest critique. It felt like it could have been 2 books. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but nonetheless excited to get back with the characters that we saw and kind of see where this galaxy is headed. I also, with the same book club that's reading Spy Family, we've talked about reading Thursday Murder Club, and so I'm going to try and get that on audiobook after I finish Caliban's War. Hopefully I finish Caliban's War before the end of the month or before mid-month. It's not looking like that's possible. I think I'm about 38% right now, so we'll see. Here's my stack. A few short books, so I think it'll be an easy month, a good way to feel successful in my reading. Yeah, just generally excited for this. So I hope you have a great month. I hope your reading is off to a good start. I know September is well on its way, but I would still love to know what you're up to, what are you reading, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, friends.